Hi everyone, this is Debbie from the team Badriyah and the Stolen Pearl. Um, just to reintroduce myself, I'm the 3D modeler for the team slash the 3D artist. So for today, I'm going to be working on modeling assets for scene three. And scene three is basically when Badriyah passes through. So she leaves her house and then she goes to the castle to fight some jinns. And then now she's in like a forest, mountainy area. And she has to cross a bridge to get all the way to a cave and solve like a puzzle on the cave door. So today I'm going to be modeling the cave door. For the cave and everything else, that's mostly been done in Unity. So I've done the environmental modeling in Unity, and now I'm just going to do the modeling for the door um, on Maya, and it's going to include like a puzzle that the user has to that the player has to solve by like moving a couple levers to create the correct design. So yeah, I'm just going to jump right into it. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat. So to start off, as I've done before, I'm going to use an image as reference. The door that I'm creating doesn't have to exactly match what I'm using for reference, but it's just good to have something to look at so you know you have an idea of where you're going. So to do that, I'm going to go to view. Wait, first, this is a mistake I make all the time. To create an image plane, I have to first go to the front camera, which is right here. So now that I'm there, go to view, and then image plane, and then import image. I've already saved the image in the source images folder for my project. So it's already here. So I've saved it as cave door. So this is it. This is the inspiration. I'm not sure what game this is from actually, but I'm grateful that it's been made so I can use it as reference. Okay. Oh, I think it's from Skyrim. Okay. Something is wrong. Hold on, guys. Let me try that again because this didn't work. Okay. Okay. So going to the front. Wait, let me create a cube and see if it shows up here. Okay, so it's not showing here. I'm not sure what's wrong. Okay. Something's wrong with the front camera. Okay, I think it's in the wrong place. So let me copy this value from one of the other cameras. Okay, let's see if this works. Hold on. So okay. So the scale is also wrong. This is very weird. I must have made a mistake somewhere. Okay. Okay, something's still wrong. I'm going to, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create a new scene and just work from there because I probably messed up with some of the default settings. So new scene, don't save. And then let me quickly save this one as, I'll save this as castle 2. No, not castle, cave door. Two. Save. Okay. So now everything is good. We have our grid and none of the values have been messed with. So let's begin. Let me go to my front view and then image plane, import image. Close door. Okay, this is it. Let me make it bigger. Okay. Do you know, I want to make the scale kind of similar to how it is going to be in Unity. So let me do what I've done before, which is use a cylinder to represent a human being, or Badriyah. Badriyah is like 170 centimeters. So I'm just, no, not rotates. Here, 170. And that is really long. Let me change some of these values. Okay, cool. So this is how Badriyah is meant to be. So let me make the image plane much bigger. Yeah, let's make it big so that it would, okay. Let's say this is how big it is when Badriyah is standing in front of it. So it's like huge. It's a huge cave door. So this is Badriyah. She's at the bottom here. Okay, cool. Make sure to save as you're going along as well. Okay. So now the door, like a general outline of the shape of the door. And I'm going to start with a cube. The cube is always like my favorite thing to start with because I just find it easier at the end when I finish modeling in terms of like the topology and stuff. Okay. Okay, so it's a very simple cube. I'm going to add more subdivisions so that it's better to work with. I'm going to do that just to the height because I'm going to be working along the height. So let's say 15. Yeah, 15 seems good. If not, I'll add more later. So let's start with 15. And then I'm going to go into front mode and scale. Scale it so like the general size is like similar. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to make this, make the cube an X-ray shading thing so that I can see through it, so it's easier to work with. And I'm also going to go to vertex mode. And then this is when I'm going to start manipulating the, wait, let me put it up a bit. Manipulating the vertices to make the general shape suit the reference. Okay, and remember to drag over the vertices rather than clicking so you get the ones behind. I'm using that as a reminder for myself actually because I always forget. Let me shift it a bit to the left. Okay, back to vertex mode. It doesn't have to, like, I'm gonna use this as like a reference, but I don't know if I'm gonna follow the exact shape. It depends on how it looks at the end because it's up to me to decide like what I want it to look like. So yeah, just dragging. So it's gonna kind of be like a straight line, straight diagonal lines on each side and then like an arch at the top. So I'm going to keep going with that. Okay, almost. Okay. So we are kind of getting to the arch bit. Let me see how I'm going to do that. Okay. And then I'll probably bring these ones these vertices closer together. And then do the same for these ones, even closer together. And then maybe move it up a bit. So general shape, let's see how that looks in perspective view. Okay, so this is fine. This is fine. We can add more subdivisions later to make it like more round up here, but we've got the general shape, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I like to add like the details for everything like later on and do like the general stuff now. Oh, okay. So I've seen that I've kind of made a mistake up here. Okay, I know what I did wrong because it's kind of got a narrower here. So let me just undo. Let me undo, keep undoing. Okay, and then go back to front mode. And I think I scaled it down with this, which scales down on all axes, but I need to just scale it down here so that it just does that one. Okay, and then this hopefully should work. Now let me scale it, make it skinnier. Okay, this is fine. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is the general shape of the door. Now it's getting to the, not the necessarily like hard part, but the part that requires a lot of steps. So let me just quickly explain this. So how I want the puzzle to work is that there'll be like part of the door in the middle. And then that circular part will be divided into like 3 sections. And the user with like 3 different levers on the ground can like rotate each section of the puzzle. And then the puzzle is meant to form an image. And if that correct pattern or image is formed, then the door opens and the puzzle is completed. That sounds a bit confusing, but I hope it seems easier as we go. So before I start doing the designs for the puzzle, I am going to create this circular part. It's not going to be a part of the door. It's going to be a separate game. Each section will be a separate game object so that when I send it to Etisham, who's an engineer for our group, he can, the scripts needs to be added to rotate each part and stuff like that. Okay. So to create this circular part, I'm going to first get a cylinder, scale it up, rotate it to face me, 90. Okay. Wait, I want to put this back where, maybe I can snap it there. Let me see. Let me see how that looks here. Neat. It's fine, I'll just leave it there. And then the cylinder, I will move so that it's in the center. I'm going to scale it down a bit. Scale it down a tiny bit and then put it in like the center. Okay, cool. So this is the cylinder. I'm going to add more subdivisions because I want it to be really round. You have to do this part at the beginning because if you try to do it later, there's going to be a lot of issues because every time you change something about a mesh, it adds to the history. And then the longer the history, the more difficult, like the more problems there might be. So this is currently 20. Let me make it 30 and see how it is. Okay, I want it to be rounder. Let me see, 40. 40 is fine. I'm going to also add caps. So caps are like smaller circles inside. So each of those like smaller circles inside will represent each part of the puzzle. So it's going to have 3 parts that rotate. So it's going to have the center part that stays where it is, and then 3 outer parts. So let me add 3, let me see. So this, okay, so I'm going to add 4. So the center stays still to kind of help the player, and then all the other parts around it rotate to create the image. So this is good. So I'm going to, now what I'm going to do is, because each of these parts is going to be a separate thing. So I'm going to have to separate that. And how I've chosen to do that is by duplicating like 4 times. Wait, let me duplicate once first and then work on this, and then I'll duplicate that to make it easier. So now I have a duplicate. And now I'm going to delete faces, holding tab and dragging around. I'm going to delete the outer face. The reason why I'm duplicating is because I want everything to match. Like I want each part to like click in to the next. Okay. Okay, so just dragging this around. And then now I can just double click on this and then we'll select the whole ring. And then, okay, so now we have the inner part, but you can see the problem. There's a space in between. So what I'm going to do is go into edge mode, double click to select the whole ring of edges, and then do the same on this side. And then I'm going to go to edit mesh and then bridge. Oops, okay, that did not work. Let me try that again. That's what I did the last time to make it work. Okay, so that didn't work, and that's very annoying because I've done this several times and it has worked. Let me see. Did I delete anything I wasn't meant to delete? Let me try fill hole. That didn't work either. Okay. So let me undo. Let me just keep undoing. Okay, I don't know what I did wrong. But let me just try that again. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it works this time. Oops. Okay, delete. Okay, so go back to edge mode, double click, and try to bridge. Okay, yay, it works this time. I don't know why it didn't work the first time because I didn't find any mistakes. But yes, so now we have the inner part that matches exactly this smaller circle. So now I'm going to do the same thing again and again until I reach the smaller part because each part has to be separate. So this is just repeating the same process. I'm holding tab and dragging rather than clicking individually makes it faster. And make sure you get every single one of those faces. So same thing for the other side. And then delete on my keyboard. And then double the outer faces, select everything. And then doing the same thing. So hopefully it doesn't do the same thing it did before. So double clicking each edge, and then go to edit mesh, and then go to bridge. Yay! Okay. So now back to object mode. And then I'm going to do the same thing. This is the last time, thankfully. Okay. Selecting all the faces here. And then going to the back to do the same thing. Okay. Okay, delete. Double clicking, delete. And then edges. And then bridge. Yay! Okay, so now that all the parts have been done, I am going to, what should I do? Because I could easily just place, I could easily just place each of these inside, but I don't want to do that because I don't want okay, so what I'm going to do is holes in each of these the same size, so, be completely separate and not joined. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to just stretch it along this way. But I need to snap it to exactly the middle. Let me go to mode. Okay, I'm going to take it out of X-ray. Should I? Yeah, let me take it out of that. No, that was a bad idea. Okay. Back to X-ray mode. And then maybe I can use snapping. Okay, so using this snapping tool here, snapped it to exactly the middle, which is good. I keep reminding myself to save because I don't want to forget. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go back to perspective mode. I'm going to use this tool that I like. So it's under mesh, go to Booleans, and then difference, which basically subtracts this from this to create the shape. But to do that, I need to click on this first and then click on the object I want to subtract after, then go to mesh, Booleans, difference. Yes, you see how easy that was? Okay, so this fits inside this. It fits inside that. Yay! Okay, so now I just realized another mistake I made. I should have done this one first, because if I do the same thing with this here, it's going to leave that part in the middle. So let me just undo. Thankfully, that was an easy process, so I am not losing much. Okay, so putting this exactly in the center here. Good. And then, wait, no, duplicating first. Enter. Good. And then stretching it this way, and then selecting this, and then going to mesh, Booleans, difference. Yay. Doing the same thing for this one. So oh, Debbie. I just realized that I had another bigger circle here. Okay, let me undo. This is just extra steps. I actually don't need to do this, but I'm just going to make it easier for me later on. Okay, so duplicate this, snap to the center, this, yes, and stretch along this way, stretch, and then click on this, and then this, mesh, Booleans, difference. Cool. Okay, same thing. Duplicate, snap to center, stretch. I'm just stretching it like a lot to make sure it goes all the way through. And select mesh difference. Okay, cool. Duplicate, center, stretch. Yep. And then select mesh Booleans difference. Yay. Okay, so now we have every single part of the puzzle. I don't need to, it fits, like all of these parts fit into each other. So now I am going to rejoin the parts. Okay, prefer to be up here. Okay. I'll make it perfect later, but let's just leave it like this for now. Yes, so perfect. So all the parts in each will be rotated and stuff. Okay, so let's put this to the side now and begin creating the pattern. So let me go into front mode. I'm going to delete this image plane because I do not need it anymore. I'm gonna use a different one. So image plane, import image. So I've imported the image for the pattern. I want for this, the door, I want to create like just an outline of this specific image, which is an image stolen from our first cutscene. So I'm going to open this. So it's just going to be like the hands with like the jaws and stuff. That would be, that's going to be the pattern that the user has to create. And I am going to do this with cubes. I could use a curve, but I want to use cubes because I'm trying to find the quickest way to do this because I need to move on to modeling other things. Because creating games is a very long and stressful process and I don't want to waste time. Not that using curves would be longer, it's just easier for me. Okay. I'm going to make this the same width as like the wrist. Okay. And I am going to change some of this. I am going to, wait, let me make this longer first. Okay, I am going to change this to, let's see how 15 looks. 15 looks fine. Okay, and then the same way that I did it with the door, I'm not going to do all the fingers, just like one, just like curve. Okay. Okay, so again, just moving these to fit in the general spot. Okay. Okay, almost done. I'm doing this very quickly. And for the puzzle, it's gonna be very like blocky. It's not gonna be very, very like detailed. It's almost like it's gonna be like a block puzzle. It just needs to have the like the overall shape, but like okay. So this is where the curve of the hand is gonna be. It's just gonna be one of like one finger. Okay. 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 Let's see how this looks. Okay, this looks fine. This is mimicking the outer part. The only thing that I'm going to change is I'm going to add some subdivisions here so that I can mimic like the curve of the finger, so it's not just flat. Okay, so I'm going to go to Mesh Tools and then Insert Edge Loop. I'm going to do one here and then here. No, yeah, actually there. To make a vertice in the middle, which I will bring up. Wait, not the vertice, the edge. Okay, back to this mode. I will let me go to vertex mode. I will bring this up just a bit. Let's see how that looks. It's a bit pointy. I could add another one, but I will do that later. But actually, I can't do that later if I'm about to do Booleans. How much time do I have? I'm just gonna leave it like this. This is fine. It's a puzzle. Okay. So back to object mode. I am going to, well, first let me make this a bit skinnier. Let me move it forward as well. I'm gonna make it like this. Because this isn't, when I do the Boolean thing, this isn't gonna go all the way through. It's just gonna be like a dent. Okay, so this looks good. Now I'm going to duplicate this for the other hand. So duplicate. And then I'm going to rotate 180 degrees. Cool, looking good. So on the other side. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure it's in the correct place. Okay, so now I'm just going to create the other parts of the puzzle, which is the pearl. Super easy, just a cylinder, not a sphere, because it's going to appear as a flat circle on the. Okay, make sure this is 90 degrees. Okay. Should be like a similar size. Yeah, this is fine. It should be the same depth as well. Let me check what this one is. The scale. What is it? Scale Z. So let me just copy that. Come on, see. No, that did not work well. Maybe it's here. Let me check. Okay, that worked. Let me just make sure though. It's still. Because this is 70. Okay, I'm just going to do this manually then and hope for the best. Maybe I can do this, yeah, top view to all side. Yeah, let me do this inside view to make sure that it's okay, so that looks good. And then let me just put that like here. Let me move these back actually. Actually, I want it to be closer. I don't have to follow the exact game. Like the middle. Okay, and then I'm gonna do these jewels by using Q. Where is it? Okay, there it is. It's Okay. Okay, yes. And make this longer. No, let me not scale it down like that because I don't want to affect the width. So to scale everything but the width. Actually, I could have. Okay, this is fine. Let me go into this view to make sure it's the same. Okay. Back to perspective mode. It's a bit big, so yeah. I'm going to scale it down a bit more as well. Okay, these are the jewels. So I'm going to duplicate that. And then maybe rotate a bit. Okay, this is the general thing. Okay, so what I am going to do now is actually let me come back here to make sure that everything is good here. Like everything is inside where it's supposed to be. So here. Okay, I think this, yes, I think it's perfectly fine now. Let me just say. Okay, so this is our puzzle. And then now I'm going to take each part of the puzzle and it's here. Oh no, what happened? Okay, so something weird happened. So my first go-to when something like that happens is to delete history. So let me just, yeah, delete the history of it. That's probably what happened, but can never be sure. Oh no, what did I just do? Okay. Delete by type. History. This one has no history. And this one as well. Okay, now let's try that again. Oh my, okay. Now I know what's going on. I had nothing to do with history. I left this on. Okay. Okay, so let me scale this down. Okay, it's scaled weirdly. Let me see if I can change something here. Let me try object. Do you know what? It's fine. I'll just move stuff. Okay. So okay. I'm using the snapping tool because I want it to like be exactly somewhere. It's so hard to see because there's no materials on it. Everything is grey. Okay, that's in the center. What's 90 minus 25? 65. Okay, quick maths. Okay. We try. Yeah. Okay. This is a better way to see it. Can you see that? I actually don't want these to be rotated. I like it better when it's not. Okay, so let me change that. Oh my god. Why does it look like that? Okay, I'll just do it manually. Okay. And then okay. I think this looks good. It's a very simple puzzle. Very simple puzzle, so the player should be able to get it. Okay. So you can see I'm just gonna move these like inside of the thing. No, oh, let me take the snapping off. So if it's this, okay, this isn't at the same position as everything else. So let me just adjust that. This. I want everything to be at the same position. So I'm just making everything 800. Okay, so now I'm gonna select the patterns. Oh, this is hard to select. Yay, okay. And now I'm going to move it inside here. So it's like this deep inside. What should we make it deeper? Let's see. Nope, this is fine. I think this should be fine. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, because I will need to do the whole Boolean thing again here. So let me try. I'm going to try this, like a quick method, and hopefully this works. If it doesn't work, then I'll do it the long way. So I'm going to make this one grid pattern. And then I'm also going to do the same thing for each of these circles. Group, name it door circle. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I will select the door circle and then shift select pattern and then go to edit mesh, mesh Booleans, then difference. Okay, that did not work because everything disappeared. So I'm going to do it the long way. Unfortunately, so the long way that I'm going to do it is, firstly, I'm going to select all of these, like the pattern. And I'm going to duplicate duplicate it 4 times. Come on. No, I think it's 3 times actually. Yeah, that's fine. So I've duplicated it because I'll need to do Booleans for parts. Since it won't know. So I'll select this and then this, no, this. Oh, and then this is so annoying. Okay, let me go closer. I'll select this and then, oh yes, I just remembered. I can't do the Boolean, like multiple objects at once. So I'll just start one by one. I'll start with the left hand. So go to, I'm going to bring this tab out because I'm going to use it a lot for this part. So Booleans, I'll bring this one out actually. And then, what is it? Difference. And the reason why I duplicated is because after you do the Boolean thing, then it deletes like the hand. So that's why I needed to do that. So then select this and then do the same thing for this hand. Difference. And then do the same thing. Oh God. I should have named this. So okay. And then do this. Did I? Let me go closer. Yay. Difference. I don't need to do the other ones because these are the only objects touching this. So now I'm going to move on to the outer part. So select this first and then go to this hand and then do difference. Same thing with this hand, difference. Then the same thing with this. Go closer. Difference. And then the same thing with these, because these ones are difference, difference. Yes, these are the only ones touching it. Okay, good. Now moving on. Select this outer part, and then start this one, and then start with the hand, difference, and then do that again for this hand, and then the same thing for all of the parts that are touching it. And then now that I've done that, do the same thing for this difference. Disappeared because that's like the last duplicate. Difference. And then difference. And then there are extra parts that I need to delete. So let me just do that now. Yay. Okay. So as you can see, the general pattern has been created. It's very hard to see right now because there's no shading. But once we add colors and everything, it will look good. Right now, it looks like a very simple pattern, but let me rotate all these parts. You can see how hard it might be for the user to put it together. So all of these parts will, okay, now that I'm looking at it, it looks quite hard actually. It might be very hard. So all of these will be rotated except the middle part, which is basically nothing. And then the user would have to rotate all of them until you get back to this. Yay. Okay, so I think we've achieved quite a lot in the short time that we had today, which is like just an hour. But this is basically it for today's. Like all that needs to be done is to add this here. And it will still be a separate game object. But that is it for today, I guess. Thank you so much for joining. Please comment any questions that you have below, and I will be checking them and answering that you have. And like to collaborate on. The main thing that we need right now is voice acting. But let us know if there's anything else that you're interested in that you might want to join on. I'd be very glad if any of you want to like help on any like 3D modeling of tiny objects. That's something that I could also help with if you want. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. See you next week.